Whether you're manually flying a DJI Neo 2, a Vata 360, Mini 5 Pro or Air 3S, or almost any drone from the past few years for that matter, TSS, or twitchy stick syndrome, has affected all of us at one time or another, ruining what would have been otherwise a perfect shot. In this video, I'm going to show you how to tame your jerky footage so you can dial in your personal settings, say no to TSS and get your controls feeling so smooth that your footage looks intentional, steady and effortless every time you fly. This is my 100th public video where I fly drones and talk about it, so what better way to celebrate that with a down-to-earth, basic guide on some of the more technical aspects of flying your drone. Rock and roll! Now, there are plenty of great videos out there that delve into all of the intricacies of gain, expo and gimbal settings, but I'm pretty sure I've been touched with the ADHD stick a little bit, and for me at least all that technical detail all at once was just
enough to make my brain overload, and I really struggled to take it all in.
By far the best way to get to understand this stuff is to use the built-in simulator on your controller, or physically go out with your drone to an empty field or something and just experiment with these settings. Before you do, I'm going to run through some simple, practical and hopefully easy to follow explanations of what these settings do, so that you're not just cluelessly pushing buttons and sliding sliders while you're out there. And at the end of the video, I'll share my approach on how I assign these C, N and S settings on my controller. But you're going to want to watch all the way through, otherwise they probably won't make much sense. Right. Let's dance. On your controller, go into Settings, click on Control and then scroll down a bit. Open up Gain and Expo Tuning and you'll find everything we're going to discuss today in there. Now annoyingly, until you have the drone switched on, you can't access these settings, but you can use the DJI Simulator on your controller or on your phone if you just want to see what it looks like. Though nothing beats flying in the real world, of course. Now let's get a bit of jargon busting done here, because that's often the most intimidating thing about these settings. Firstly, gain. This is effectively your speed limiter. This is the maximum speed that the drone will move in any given direction. Maximum horizontal ascent and descent speeds are all fairly obvious. Oh, and horizontal speed also includes when you're moving laterally, so left to right like this. Or some people call it jinking, especially if they played Desert Strike on the Sega Mega Drive in the 1990s. Too much. But what in the Jiminy crickets does max angular velocity mean? And why is it in degrees? This controls yaw.
You're disingenuous.
Wait, that's still a bit too technical as far as I'm concerned. This controls how fast the drone rotates or turns. So using my Neo 2 here, if I've got this set to 90 degrees per second, it's going to turn 90 degrees in 1 second. So when hovering, it changes the speed the drone rotates on the spot. Or when flying backwards and forwards, it changes how quickly you turn. Setting this to a lower number makes turns gradual and smooth, and the higher numbers will make it turn snappily and quickly. The Yaw Smoothness is important as well. This tells the drone how quickly to react to your inputs when pushing the left stick left and right. Set it to 1 and when you take your thumb off the stick, it immediately stops. Setting it higher puts a bit of a buffer in there. It starts slowly before getting up to speed, and then when you take your thumb off the stick, it slowly stops rotating. Brake sensitivity is fairly obvious, I think. This controls whether the drone stops on a dime or comes to a gradual stop as you let go of the forward or back stick. And so, like your smoothness,
You are smoothness.
the higher the number, the longer it takes the drone to come to a stop, yeah? No. For some reason, DJI have this the other way round. So the higher the number, the quicker the drone will stop, and the lower the number, the more slowly the drone will take to come to a halt after you take your thumb off the stick. Just be careful with this setting though. If you've got it set particularly low, then make sure you anticipate that extra run-on distance after you think you're going to come to a stop. Imagine that these settings add extra momentum to your drone that allow its movement to be more natural and more fluid. They control how quickly the drone reacts to these specific controls. Set them one way and it acts like a racing car, instantly reacting to your inputs and stopping on a dime. Whereas the opposite setting creates smooth movements like a big boat, smoothly moving off and coming to a gradual stop, like the Titanic. No, not like the Titanic, that's not a good analogy. You know what I mean. Let's move on to the thing that really helps you with precision and your twitchy little fingers. Before we start on this section, don't look at this graph, okay? It creates instant intimidation and makes you think that it's all very technical. Personally, I think it's just DJI showing off their graphics.
Show off.
Now, Expo is short for exponential, and yes, it all sounds a bit mathematical. But when you get it and it clicks, it's actually very simple. Oh, and one very important button to click is, of course, the like button, especially if you're finding any of this useful. Also consider hitting the subscribe button to exponentially increase your awesome points. And leave a comment if you want to gain my appreciation. Anyway, think of Expo as your safety buffer against twitchy fingers. When you've got the Expo setting at a very low number, it reduces the sensitivity of your controls and means that smaller movements of the sticks make barely any difference to the movement of the drone. You have to move the stick quite a distance for the reaction of the drone to increase. As you move the stick further, the drone starts to react more quickly to your input. It almost creates a dead zone for your controls and enables you to make micro adjustments without feeling like you're trying to thread a needle, and gives you the added advantage of virtually nulling out any accidental movements, such as when you're pushing the stick right up and you get a twitch to the left or to the right, which has always been a bit of a problem for me. But enough about my love life.
We're not doing this today.
The further you move the sticks, the more quickly the drone reacts, so it doesn't stop you moving as fast as the top speed you've set in the game. You can still smash the stick to the plastic and get the drone moving quickly, but it just enables better control for your smaller inputs. The up and down control is fairly obvious. If you're still confused by that, then probably the drone hobby isn't for you. Yaw, as we've already talked about, is about how quickly the drone turns. And then we've got some new jargon here: pitch, stroke, roll. This is just the same as horizontal movement, so forwards and backwards, and then roll is flying left and right. I don't quite know why they didn't just keep things consistent and call this horizontal like in the gain section, but there you go.
Confused, a stupid person. Yeah.
The important thing here is that the Expo settings don't affect the top speed of the movement, just how quickly the drone reacts to the direction you push the stick in. Pushing the stick a quarter of the way gets you the same fraction of the top speed that you've set, regardless of whether that's 15 meters per second or 5 meters per second. Now you can cure twitchy stick syndrome and have the best, most smoothest cinematic flight in the world. But one associated complaint that people often suffer from is TTS, or twitchy tilt syndrome. And it can mean the difference between professional looking footage or making it look like you're just flying a security camera. So let's cure that too. Your gimbal controls where your camera looks, and you control it with this shoulder wheel here, and it changes the angle up or down that the camera points at. You wouldn't believe he got an A in English language, would you? Now this works in a similar way to the yaw controls. The max control speed, in brackets tilt, in plain language controls how quickly the gimbal tilts up and down with your input. The higher the number, the quicker it moves. And most importantly, the tilt smoothness gives your gimbal momentum, so it doesn't come to a hard stop when you take your finger off the control. And that's the one that makes all the difference. And if you've got a DJI Mini 5 Pro, or you're minted and you've got the Mavic 4 Pro, you've also got max roll speed and roll smoothness, which controls how quickly and smoothly you can turn the world upside down. On your controller, you've got this slider here, and this lets you assign different sets of custom settings for different situations, and it remembers them when you click to it. Now, nobody will ever truly know what the letters actually stand for. Okay, yes, it literally says Cine, normal, and sport right there on the screen. But I still prefer my own definitions. C is for creep mode. And no, this isn't a reference to half the non-droney population thinking we're all a bunch of pervs.
Here, he's peeping through my windows to look at my knickers.
This mode dials everything right down to slow the drone down for the smoothest, most cinematic shots possible. It's great for medium or low altitude and close-up control. Just don't use it too high up, because then it just feels like you're moving nowhere. It's especially good with the DJI Neo and Neo 2 if you want to set it to creep across the sky really slowly using cruise control and use timed photos to create a hyperlapse. In that case, just cap your horizontal gain or maximum speed at 1 meter per second, and with low Expo settings it makes it easy to hit the low speed that you want for that type of shot and select cruise control. No more trying to balance the speed out like it's some sort of high-stakes reaction test anymore. Then we move on to N. This is what I call natural mode. This is for your everyday, normal flying. The default mode where the drone keeps things balanced out without being overly twitchy. As a safety measure, the drone automatically starts off in this mode, even if you've left it switched to C or S on the controller after your last flight. And finally, S is for speedy. This gives you maximum speed and agility for moving the drone to where you want to start a shot as quickly as possible, or for the occasional bit of sporty blatting about. Just remember though, obstacle avoidance in this mode is always set to off, so set your braking sensitivity high to avoid any embarrassing mishaps. Now, when DJI added the simulator to their controllers, I thought it was just a bit of bloatware that I was never going to use. I'm old school, I'll never use that. I always physically fly my drones. But actually, in this case, it makes it really easy to familiarise yourselves with these sorts of controls before you get the drone in the air. I'd recommend getting into the simulator with a drone that's as close to the spec for the drone that you have as possible. So, for example, the DJI Neo or the Neo 2 isn't on there, but you could just use the DJI Leto. Explore the controls and see what combinations work for you. Check out the extremes and compare them to the default settings in each of the Cine, normal and sport modes, both in the simulator and then later when you're actually out flying the drone. If you get anything really messed up, you can simply reset to DJI's defaults by clicking down here. Now, real-world flight is never going to be exactly the same as in the simulator, so if you found some settings that you like, make a note of them, then get out with your drone, apply them for a real-world flight, and then tweak them from there. Now, unlike other channels, I'm not going to share a list of all of my exact settings because they're always changing, and also everyone's different. Everyone's got different thumbs. But a good place to start is from the defaults that DJI has set for each of the 3 modes. Then alter things from there. This is my general approach, but you should dial in your settings for what suits you.
Suit you, sir. Suit you, sir.
With Cine mode, depending on the job I'm doing, the settings are dialed all the way down, so very slow on the gain and heavy smoothness. Expos are set so that I have to move the sticks a long way before the drone moves to the top speed that I've got it set at, so I can be ultra precise. And as I said before, this mode is very useful in combination with cruise control. With normal mode, which is what I use 90% of the time, I put the speed all the way up to maximum and the smoothness as fairly strong. Expo settings are a nudge lower than the default, so less twitchy than DJI's default settings, so that I'm not blatting about at top speed all the time, but they're still fairly responsive. And with sport mode, I leave everything on default except for gain, where I stick all of those speeds right up to maximum. With sport mode, my braking sensitivity is also set that the drone stops as quickly as possible. Going at those speeds without obstacle avoidance, I'd rather come to a quick stop than smash into something or someone by accident. Has this cured you of your TSS and TTS? If it has, then please leave a like and let me know in the comments. Feel free to add your personal settings there as well. But as Fleetwood Mac said, you can go your own way. Now, we've talked a lot about how to use your drone in the air, but watch this for a surprising alternative use for it. Or just watch this video here, because the YouTube monkeys think you might like it. Bye!
Can't wait till I'm back up on my feet again.